everyone, welcome to Red Wolf Roundtable. I'm Jacob Cater alongside Caton Marsh. Got a little bit of an interesting episode today. We don't have very many graphics. We're having some upgrades on our graphics today. Yeah, I mean, look at these wonderful graphics we have with us. Those are the ones that we're working with today. But we've got something even better. I don't know if you can see this or what it says. It says SBC bracketology. This is going to be our makeshift graphics for the day. So we've got a lot to talk about. We've got some basketball. Basketball season obviously coming to a close. We've got the Sun Belt Conference Tournament coming up. We've also got some really good baseball to talk about. So A-State's baseball team continuing their run of dominance. We'll talk more about that when we come back from this break. So stay tuned here on Red Wolf Roundtable.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you howl.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Sun Belt Conference basketball is coming to an end in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. We've got both teams in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament so far. The A-State women's team is the 3rd seed, and the men's team is the 7th seed. The men's team finished off the regular season with a 4-game win streak, doing pretty well. Their last big game was Friday night, senior night, for both teams. They beat Louisiana by a score of 81-58. Pretty dominant win for the Red Wolves.
Yeah, it wasn't really a surprise. We talked about it at the very end of the show very briefly, how I talked about Louisiana being 10-20 on the season. So going into this game, we had pretty high expectations on points output, and they kind of reciprocated that energy. They shot really well. Some of the players that we want to mention, TJ Caldwell, transferred from Ole Miss, had himself a game. We haven't really talked about him too much, but on senior night, even though he's not a senior, shows out. But the one senior that did show out, and then we didn't really get to talk about much, was Matt Heyman. Luke showed a lot of love to Matt Heyman last episode, and he showed out.
Yeah, TJ Caldwell was the player of the game, 19 points and 60% from field goal range.
Shot 5 for 9 from 3, too.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. A great way to end the regular season. Going in, final home game, you've got that momentum going to the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. And some really good rebounding. Ali, Hampton, and Chama all had 10 rebounds. So we had 3 guys with 10 rebounds.
Joey Chama getting double digits on the boards. Our shortest player getting double digits on the boards. Kind of crazy.
Also want to mention Coach Ryan Pannone is a finalist for a very prestigious award from what I've heard. I believe it's, here it is, the Joe B. Hall Award. National Coach of the Year Award. For Coach Pannone. This is his first season at Arkansas State, and it's everybody else on that team's first season at Arkansas State. So to come into a program where you're having to build from scratch, get all of your players, to go have 20 wins in your first season, everybody's first season, is pretty impressive.
It was a question on whether or not if we would finish off with 20 wins. We were 16-11, if I'm not mistaken, right around that 4-game stretch mark left in the season, and they showed out. Obviously, we kind of pointed out some things that we want to improve. They played a lot better that last game. Hopefully, they follow it through in the tournament, in which they are playing today.
Absolutely. They will play, I believe, Georgia Southern today. Yes. Oh, well, here's the bracket. If you want, we've got this wonderful graphics board here. We can go ahead and draw the bracket if we want to. We've got bracketology.
Should we do our side first?
I think we should.
Just do our side?
All right, we've got, who do we think?
Oh, shoot, this is going to be a mess.
Who do we think is going to win the Sun Belt Conference tournament?
So first, let's see. Let me pull it up.
We've got, of course, Arkansas State. Arkansas State got the 7th seed after a 6-way tie for 2nd place.
This is going to be a mess, but it'll work.
Troy was the regular season champion, so they will be the 1 seed.
Here's 11, and then
it's a big Christmas tree of
you guys are over there.
Yeah, they're over there. It's kind of chaotic.
This team is gone, by the way. No,
ULM
not really
lost.
surprised.
No surprise.
ULM kind of. We talked about them pretty much all year. They're bad. So we got Georgia Southern. We'll just put an S. I know that could be state too, but we're gonna roll with it. Old Dominion. Obviously, you guys are still over there.
No, they're right
now we're here. This team that advanced right here, they're gone. So we'll go Georgia Southern. We're just gonna label them Georgia right now. That'll work. And then us. So they play tonight. These two.
At 7:30, I do believe.
Yeah, our prediction is this team's gone. I don't really think there's a surprise here about that. And then for game, winner of this game, which is going to be A-State. No surprise here. We got South Alabama.
That'll be a challenge.
Yep, so this is the game I wanted to highlight most right here. This team came into Jonesboro, was getting decimated, losing by 18, I believe, and we talked about it. Take a random shot heave, down 4, behind the 3-point line, get fouled, miraculously make it, get the free throw, overtime, we lose. Morale could have not been lower. So this team can shoot really good, really good. And if we don't defend the 3 like we haven't been doing all year, this is going to be a problem. And I'm almost positive South Al had the Sun Belt Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm almost positive they did. That being said, we were still up 15. We just follow suit. This team's gone. So let's go to the next one. We're going to go ahead and
The women's bracket or the other side of the men's?
we're just going to keep going because we got a little bit more.
Okay.
We're gonna stand up for this one. Hi. We got Coastal. And our state, Arkansas State. Any thoughts?
I'm going to say Arkansas State. I'm going to take them in this one. This is, assuming that Arkansas State beats South Alabama, which I'm a little skeptical about. But I think we match up better with Coastal Carolina than we do with South Al.
This team is now gone. So that leaves, I believe, the last game for our side of the tournament.
So this would be the Final Four, right?
And correct. Marshall. Against A-State.
Yeah, I'm giving this one to Marshall.
Dang. Okay.
I personally, I've seen them play a few games this year, and they look really dominant from inside the paint. I think
We didn't play them this year, did we?
no, but I've seen them play on ESPN.
Okay, well,
I really think Marshall would have this one.
I know for a fact we battled pretty well with Troy, and we split the series when we played them. We destroyed them at home, and then, well, they destroyed us at their house. This being neutral ground, and them being as good as they are, I'm going to pick A-State, and that would leave the last side of the bracket being Troy, A-State, and that's where we're going to
So
have our
you
biggest problem.
think the championship game is going to be Troy and Arkansas State?
I think they can make a run. This is the year of a lot of the teams being the same output. What we had 7 teams being around the same record, and it took until Friday to decipher where everybody stood. Unfortunately, we being as far back as we were, and if we beat South Al, we'd be a lot further on and not having to worry about maybe some of these teams and these teams being pushed back. But we're good enough offensively to the point where we can maybe outscore a team. Hopefully they don't outscore us. Obviously, that's kind of common sense. But with our defense being the way it is, it doesn't seem like that. So I think we could probably go against Troy, and I think that might be where the run stops. But this is an A-State team that can shoot really well. So.
All right. So you predict us to go back to the championship game this year?
Hope so, but hopefully they take it home this time.
All right. Well, let's talk about the women's
All right.
side of the bracket. Arkansas State is the 3rd seed in the women's bracket this year. They, of course, finished 3rd in the conference. We've got Arkansas State will play the winner of ODU and Southern Miss, right? Or has that game been played yet?
So this game hasn't been played yet. I think it's playing today, actually.
Okay.
And so we'll either play one of those two. So I guess we'll kind of just go through their predictions, being Southern Miss versus ODU. And then we'll get to us. Any predictions on who it might be?
I really don't know. I think this one could probably be a toss-up. I'm probably just going to pick Old Dominion, I guess, in this one.
All right.
Well, you know that we've been talking about the Sun Belt Conference tournament, and the lower seeds have actually won more games than the higher seeds have in this tournament. So I'm going to say Old Dominion goes and plays Arkansas State.
So Southern Miss?
Southern's out. Old Dominion
see you
plays
later.
Arkansas State. Arkansas State wins and goes to play Troy. Now, this is a predicament because Troy has our number this year. Troy has beaten us pretty handedly both times. I mean, I think it was closer whenever Arkansas State and Troy played at Arkansas State. Troy beat Arkansas State by 20 at Troy this year. I really think it's hard to beat a team 3 times, so I'm going to say Arkansas State.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. When they came to our house not too long ago, actually, they didn't shoot too well. I believe our shooting percentages were around 20% from the field, and even lower from three-point, being this is about 12%. I could be incorrect about that. We just had a really off game. We started slow, and that was kind of a common theme with these women's games. When they played against Louisiana, even though they won by considerable fashion, they started off really slow.
They did.
And they had trouble shooting the three-point from the first quarter and the fourth quarter. Same thing with the Troy game, but that was kind of the way throughout the whole game. They played really good defensively. That being said, it got exposed from time to time. I think Arkansas State, the way they played against Texas State, which we'll get to in just a second, I think they beat Troy right here. See ya. And they go on to play Georgia Southern, who is the number 1 seed. And that'd be the end of the tournament for our side. And hopefully we take it home.
I'm picking Arkansas State to win the entire thing. I think they have a really good chance against Georgia Southern this year. Georgia Southern has a really good coach. We'll give them credit for that. I believe
Coach of the year.
She got Coach of the Year. Yes, she did. So give her credit for that. But I think Arkansas State takes it.
So, yeah, you're winners of
yeah.
the Sun Belt tournament.
Yeah. So, speaking of the Sun Belt tournament,
Boom.
we know what we don't want to happen, and that's a fight. Coastal Carolina didn't see it that way. So take a look at this clip from, I believe, yesterday, Coastal Carolina and South Alabama.
She wants to against Cordesia Harris, but Harris just does a really good job in body positioning of not allowing any free passes.
We've got some swinging down in the paint now, and tempers have flared between Houston and Cordesia Harris. They're having to separate.
Down
the
goes
players.
Anderson.
Down goes Anderson, yeah. So the referee had the, on the floor. She got the brunt of the whole attack. I believe there were about 3 or 4 suspensions in this game. So, we've got some girls on this team, going to be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Rest of the tournament. If they make it to March Madness, which is likely not to happen, they'll be out for March Madness too. So, things that you don't want to see happen in the Sun Belt tournament have already happened. We don't want this to happen to Arkansas State. I don't think Arkansas State is going to have this happen. They're a very well-disciplined team. And, they've got a tradition of, hey, we're going to go in there with some class. We're going to have some style, And speaking of class and style, let's talk about this game that happened on Friday.
Yeah, Texas State.
Yes.
And the problem that we've been having about the consistency, there wasn't a problem this game. One of the players that was really good, kind of like TJ Caldwell, was Miss Mia Tarver, one of our transfers and a senior, showing out on senior night, electric from the three. Threes were just falling everywhere.
63% from the three-point line, by the way.
So-
Also 63% from field goal range with 15 points and 5 rebounds.
And I believe the points off turnovers was an immaculate difference. I think Texas State
36
had around
points off
14.
turnovers for Arkansas
we had
State.
36. So that being that we capitalized on those turnover points, which we are so prone to do in getting turnovers, that's one of the keys to why we won this game in such a desirable fashion.
Absolutely. As you know, Sun Belt Conference awards were handed out this past week. Of course, we've already mentioned Coach of the Year, but we want to talk about Arkansas State's awards. I believe Christian Harmon got 3rd team all Sun Belt.
3rd team? Seriously?
3rd team?
Third
Yeah.
team.
That felt a little disrespect. I mean, at least he made it on the team. And then we had
Zion was 1st team.
Zion was
for
1st team,
women's.
and
Rose
Chrislyn was
second.
2nd team. Yes, so we had some Lady Red Wolves on the team, but I want to talk about our bench play this year because we had the 6th man and 6th woman of the year. All right, Joey Chama off the bench for the Red Wolves, right? He's got the little basketball in his hand because he knows ball. He knows how to play ball, especially off the bench. He did great. He brought the energy.
Especially early on in the year.
Especially early on in the year. Before his injury, dude was electric. After his injury, he came back and did just fine. It's like he never left. For the women, Mimi McAllister, she's dribbling the ball between her legs. She's got great control. She can do great things for this Arkansas State Red Wolves team, and she has off the bench this year for the Lady Red Wolves. So, our 6th man and 6th woman of the year for the Sun Belt Conference, Mr. Joey Chama and Miss Mimi McAllister.
And we should mention 1st team all art graphics for Jacob Cater.
Yes, thank you. This is my artistry that you see because of our lack of graphics today. So, I believe that will take us into our break, and we'll be right back to talk about some baseball that has happened this week. Well, I've got news for you.
There it is. Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here at Arkansas State University. We're going to talk about some baseball and how on fire this team has been. Off to its best start since 2005. That was 21 years ago. So Arkansas State baseball, having
We were hardly alive.
a great time. Yeah, I was like 2. So, off to its best start since 2005. Talk about Coach Mike Silva. Is Coach Mike Silva the SBC Coach of the Year already?
Well, I think we're going to be ranked here soon.
I mean,
foreshadowing. So I think with the track record of the other teams, they've seen it quite a bit. But Mike Silva being able to turn around a team like A-State that's had its struggles for a really long time. We went about middle of the pack last year. We were picked to finish 9th this year, and we're shooting up boards. Right now, we're ranked 35th in the nation. So I think very well Mike Silva could prove to be Coach of the Year for the Sun Belt.
absolutely, and we will see what he will be doing in the future. But let's talk about what he's done this week. Against UAPB this past weekend, a 3-game sweep of the Golden Lions.
Absolute destruction.
Yes,
Oh my.
yes. First game, 11-3. Chase Richter, pitcher, 5 innings, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 Ks. And Andrew Allen, I'm going to talk about Andrew Allen for a minute. A 3-inning save is almost unheard of in baseball, but he got it. A 3-inning save. He had no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. And then Lane Walton, of course, the guy that everybody's talking about this year, the sophomore here for A-State. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 run. Lane Walton's going to come up a lot this season, and he will come up a lot in this episode today.
Yeah, we can't say enough about Lane Walton. I think he's batting around 300 plus, has a 900 slug, over 1,000 OPS. This dude rakes. And when he makes contact with the ball, you can make sure it's not in infield of play. It's going to be at the warning track or it's going to be over the fence because every single hit, except for 4, has been an extra base hit. That being said, he has 3 triples this year. 3. We've played 14 games.
Yeah.
And he has 3 triples.
3
He
triples,
almost
and I
hit-
believe about 7 doubles.
And one of the things I really wanted to highlight about this game was he almost hit for the cycle. Or sorry, that's next game. That's next game.
That's
where
game
they-
2,
Yeah.
a
Got
10-0
cut short.
shutout against UAPB in 7 innings. The run
got
rule
cut short.
came into effect. Winning pitcher was Jack Nelson. He had 6 innings pitched with no earned runs, 2 walks, and 6
It was a
strikeouts.
beautiful game by him.
Lane Walton, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs, and 1 home run.
Hey, we're talking about him again. So, game got cut short. He would have had another at bat. All he needed was the easiest thing out of all of them, the single. And he was on cycle watch the whole time. I said it before. Can't talk about him enough. This guy is electric. And that being said, some other guys that we want to mention, Patrick Ingsove, he's been really great this year. Mr. Ashton Quiller, leadoff man. Some of the guys that have kind of been in and out of the lineup, Derek Martinez, our freshman. He was picked to be one of the top freshmen in the nation for the Sun Belt. He's been playing well. And Joey McLaughlin, he's wasn't the early on starter, but has kind of come in and played that left field position really well. And one of the best cleanup batters for us at the end of the order.
You talk about Derek Martinez in Game 3 against UAPB, a 7-2 win for the Red Wolves. He went 3 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI. Really, really good things here for the freshman. Evan Griffiths is another one that we haven't really talked about. He was 1 for 3 that day with the home run. And then that was kind of a bullpen game for A-State. There were 3 different pitchers. They each pitched 3 innings and all did really well. I'm excited. At the beginning of the year, I will say I was a little weary of what our bullpen was going to look like. I knew our starting pitching was probably going to be fine, but our bullpen, kind of was giving me some doubts. But I think our bullpen has really, stepped it up and kind of pulled into shape. And that's going to be important coming into conference play. And it was really important against Louisiana Tech.
Yep. Soon to be conference mate, by the way.
Yes, the Red Wolves went down and played future Sun Belt Conference member, the Louisiana Tech.
This team was picked to finish second in Conference USA, so this is a big deal. The team above them was DBU, who are going to the Pac-12. So we went in their trap, take over the trap is what a lot of people like to say. And first game was 8-2, I believe. Second game was 7-2. So we outscored them by 11. So this was a huge game for us. This is going to set the precedent to us being ranked. One of the players obviously being Lane Walton again, doing his thing. Mr. Patrick Ingove.
Ingskov had a really good series in this midweek series. In game 1 alone, he was 2 for 5 with a 3-run bomb and 4 RBIs. And in game 2, he was 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. So we've got a lot of balls flying out of the ballpark this year for Arkansas State, which is not something that Arkansas State's usually known for. It's not the home run ball. Tyler Weimer was another one that you wanted to talk about in yesterday's game.
Amazing.
4.1 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. I'm really, really excited about this pitching staff for Arkansas State.
Yeah, Ryan Ashford, our starter for game 1, he threw about 5 innings, had a great game. Our transfer from Miami. And then game 2, here comes Colin Maloney, has a great 4 innings. And then Tyler Weimer comes in, gives up 1 hit, and I believe it was at the very tail end of his day, and he has been great this year, to say the least. He has a sub-2 ERA. He's throwing around 9 Ks per 9, which is really solid for a pitcher. And he's one of our best rotators for the bullpen. So to see him come in, and well, he'll probably be ready for our weekend series against Oral Roberts. So he'll be needed for sure.
A-State improves to 11-3 and 8-1 at home and 3-2 away with a 5-game win streak, actually, including last night's game is a 5-game win streak. So we will see how that carries over into this week's game, which we will talk about when we come back right after break.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you how.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
It's that time of year. Baseball season is upon us, as we've already talked about, and I'm super excited to talk about the games that we have coming up this week. The Arkansas State Red Wolves travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma to take on Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts, not the greatest team in the world this season. I believe they're about 5-7 at the moment. But, you know, I think we can expect A-State to be pretty dominant in this series. Of course, they're 3-2 on the road, but of course, 2 of those road games that were lost were against SEC opponents, ranked SEC opponents in Arkansas and Ole Miss.
It was only by 2.
And it was only by 2 combined points, yes. So I think A-State has a pretty good chance this weekend against Oral Roberts. But the game I want to talk about is the midweek matchup against UALR. The Trojans, if you didn't know, went into the Super Regionals, made it all. They were not expected to win their conference, won the conference tournament last year, I believe in the Ohio Valley, and came in to the regionals, won their regional, and then went to the Super Regionals and almost beat national champion LSU. So the Trojans are a dangerous ball club. I don't really think they lost very many people, and their coach is a really, really smart baseball-minded guy. And so I think that this game against UALR is probably going to be, you know, one of the best in-state games that we see all year, other than the Arkansas series, which was really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you talked about it with Oral Roberts. Statistically, they haven't been great this year. They're giving a lot of home runs. They're not hitting a lot of home runs themselves. They're getting outscored by quite a bit. Sitting at 5-7, like you said, this should be no problem for A-State the way they've been playing. Going to the Little Rock 6-6. They're quite a bit better than Oral Roberts, so it is going to be a test, especially with it being our last non-conference game for the year, and heading into Southern Miss.
Yeah,
as
that'll be big
our
too.
Opener, but as I say, bats are flying, so I think we can outscore UALR with no problems. The pitching is going to be the main focus for this game for sure, because this is a better hitting team than what we have faced in the past outside of Arkansas and Ole Miss. But yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, Southern Mississippi is our first conference game. That'll be next weekend, and that'll be a challenge for sure.
We need more people. Against UAPB, I think we had fan attendance. That's something that we haven't talked about. Our record attendance at 1,300 people. And then Sunday, nobody. So a team that's about to be ranked, we got to have fans there, especially when we're opening up against a ranked opponent in baseball. Show up, please. This is going to be one of the greatest teams that you get to experience in your lifetime at Arkansas State University. This team is so much fun to watch. We're outscoring our opponents, I believe, by 70. We have 110 runs this year.
Already.
We've
We're
played
3 weeks into the season.
14 games, 110 runs to, I believe, 40. So if you're worried about offense, well, Arkansas State has that. You can show up. You got Lane Walton, 1 through 9. Everybody's fun to watch. And if you like to watch a pitching shutout, that's what Arkansas State does, show up.
Yeah, there should be some good crowd attendance because, as they say, chicks dig the long ball. And Arkansas State has a lot of that. So I expect a lot of attendance here for the Southern Miss games especially. That'll be fun to watch. Southern Miss just defeated Mississippi State this past week. So that'll be a great series to watch. I'm going to talk about some team leaders and statistics so far. Ashton Quiller leads the team in batting average with a .358 average. He also leads the team in hits with 19 hits. Lane Walton is tied for 4th in the nation with 8 home runs. And then he also has 21 RBIs leading the team. And in ERA, Jack Nelson leads the team with 1.13 ERA. Chase Richter has 19 strikeouts as well. So go out and watch this game. Go out and watch your Red Wolves play some baseball. The weather is clearing up. It's getting warmer. It's baseball time. So go watch some baseball.
There's no excuse at this point. Really isn't.
That's all we have today here on Red Wolf Roundtable. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with our unconventional graphics today. Thank you for our production crew for hanging around with us and doing all that they can to support this show. From Jacob Cater and Caton Marsh, tune in next week for Red Wolf Roundtable. Wolves up. We'll see you later.